Hello everyone and welcome back to Modded Minecraft with Nightdagger, the Season 3 premiere, Episode 1. Just starting in on the world now. I am going kind of back to my Season 1 roots, and I am going to actually generate the map on camera. I do not have a pre-seeded world, so I have absolutely no idea what's in store for me. Let's go ahead and create a new world. We're going to go into more world options, and as for the seed, we're going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sounds like a good seed to me. We're going to have allowed cheats set to off. We're going to have the bonus chest set to off. Everything else we're just going to leave as default. We're just going to use the seed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See where that gets us. LPS3. Alright. Let's create the world, and let's see what we get. We get a lot of lag, that's what we get. Alright, we spawned in an autumn woods, which is kind of cool. Let's give this a minute, and it looks like there might be a village right over there. Spawned in an area with a lot of wolves. Which means getting sheep could be kind of annoying in the early game. Wolves love to kill them. Okay, we spawned on the edge of a mountainous desert, it looks like. But we do have something here, and then there's something over there also. So we've got our village here, and oh yeah, the village got kind of consumed. Massive lighting glitch. Alright. Hello. We have a fire over here. This is not good. Save the bookshelves! No! I'm going to steal the books. Because this entire village is freaking doomed anyway. It spawned right on the side of a volcano or something. Wow. Alright, so that was interesting. We've got some plant life growing up here. There's another house up there. It looks like just a regular old house, though. Let's climb up there and take a look. World generation is so screwed up with this. Alright, what do we got up here? We have a house that we can't really reach because the door is on the other side. We could punch a hole through the wall. We might do that later. For right now, though, ow, not worth it. So, ow. We're gonna come down here. We're gonna finish looting the libraries. Most people start out a Let's Play series punching wood. I started out punching bookshelves out of local village. There is a reason for this. I'm sure some of you that are more familiar with the mods probably already know why I looted the village for the books. We'll get to it in a bit. Ooh, sugarcane. Gonna need some of that. May as well gather that up. And let's head back over here. I see there's an oil spawn over here. And I kind of want to build my base next to an oil spawn. Let's collect that. Let's check out this oil spawn, see what we're looking at. Oh, we got a pretty good geyser going here. Going into a cave. That's interesting. We got a wolf over there who's getting wet and drying himself off. Alright. It's kind of hard to tell what we're dealing with at the moment because all of this stuff is everywhere. But I'm thinking I might want to kind of locate my base somewhere right around... Is there another village over there? Spawn right in the middle of two villages. That's kind of cool. Oh, cow. Lots of cows. Alright, so I'm thinking I might want to build my village at the top of the hill here. Or, not my village, my base. Yeah, I'm going to build right up here. So I'm going to mark this as home. And it's afternoon. Still haven't collected any wood. I'll get started on that. Get at least a couple pieces. And I'm going to go raid that village. Looks like there's a silverleaf tree in it. Silverleaf trees are from Thaumcraft. And I'm on the edge of an alpine biome too, it looks like. And I hear lava bubbling. There's lava right below the surface here. Let's go over here and check this out. Ooh, that's an apiarist's house. And this is a blacksmith. And blacksmiths always have good stuff. Alright, so you can see if I hold down shift, like if I'm sneaking, and I point at things, you get these all these symbols. These symbols are part of Thaumcraft 3. I will explain a little bit more about that, probably even this episode. But there's another thing that I want to get working on right away, because I am terrible about interrupting cow says what? If there's one thing I'm terrible about, it's procrastination. And I just left these guys out. That's interesting. Oops. Jump up here, get to the 8th house. This is kind of a screwed up village. I'm going to adjust my volume level just a little bit. Takes down to about 60%. Close enough. Music I'm going to take the whole way down to about 20%. Alright, so this is an apiarist hut. But how do you get into it? The door to the apiarist hut is all the way over there. Messed up world gen for the win. And I hear a zombie. Great. Alright, here's our apiarist. He's willing to trade us oak wood for apiaries, which is a good thing. But what we're mostly after is the fact that he's going to have some apiaries in his backyard. Being as he can't use the things back here, I feel no remorse in stealing them. I'm going to go ahead and make my first crafting table. Just going to plunk it down here. Going to make my first pickaxe. Take the crafting table with me. And the first thing I'm going to do with the pickaxe is steal this guy's apiaries. I feel no remorse. I consider it a price for his freedom. He would have starved to death if it wasn't for me. I did him a favor. See what's going on in here, huh? Silverleaf tree grew into your wall. That's cool. I tell you what, sometimes some really interesting things happen when you start combining mods. Especially mods that alter world gen like Extra Biomes does. It makes stuff like this happen. We've got a couple of houses over here. Nothing really interesting happening here. Got the mystical floating torches there. Just a random house there. Alright, let's come down here and let's raid their farm. Because NPC farms are a great place to get your first carrots. And sometimes potatoes. But I don't see any potatoes here yet. We need to get home and set ourselves up a short-term base of some sort or another. Oh, hello. There's a lava we heard earlier. Alright. Back where we want to make our home. We got a sapling. Alright, there is a couple of mountain ranges right near us, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop down a chest here. I'm going to drop some stuff in here. We got a bunch of different flowers. Pop down our crafting table. I'm going to throw all of this stuff in here. We need to keep the pickaxe with us. Pop down the crafting table right there. And we're going to go get a little bit of stone. Oh. Maybe we're going to fight off a zombie horde first. He dropped us some beef jerky. Wait, that wasn't beef jerky at all. Just need to get a handful of stone. I'm just going to take it right out of the wall here. Come on. We want at least 11 stone to get started. Probably want a little more than that because we want to be able to make some furnaces. We're going to want a set of stone tools, including an axe so we can gather some early wood. I'm still a stickler for not using coal if you can get charcoal. This is how I survived the first night. I just go mining in a dark cave to gather stone, break the pickaxe. By the time you get that far, first night's usually pretty much already done. Alright, here's the first of our modded ores. This is copper. However, you can't break it with a wooden pick. You gotta have at least a stone. As far as world gen, ooh, and here's another modded stone. This is amber, which I think you actually need an iron pick to get that. Amber is added by the Thaumcraft mod. Alright, let's get our sword. Fight off the horde. I hear you up there. Alright, let's go ahead and make ourselves a furnace. I'm just going to plunk him down right here for now. With our 2 sticks, we're going to make ourselves an axe. And we're going to put away our stone. We'll keep our sword with us, because we're probably going to need that pretty frequently throughout the night. But let's go ahead and start collecting some wood. Spruce and oak. It's going to be a little annoying cooking all this stuff up, because it's going to be 2 different types of woods that condense down into the same resource, essentially. But that's alright. Gives us some options for building material anyway. Keep hearing a zombie. Kind of worried that he's going to come and get me. Anyway, here's my plan for the moment. I am going to keep recording throughout the first night to the sounds of peaceful Minecraft music. And then I think when day breaks, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to get the first mining spree out of the way. Off camera. Because I don't want episode 1... Oh, hello. I don't want episode 1 to be nothing but me mining for an hour straight. I want to actually get to doing some stuff in episode 1. So... But filming the first night of survival is kind of traditional. It's usually traditional for me to have seen a creeper by now. Creepers seem to have a special love for me. Is that a wolf over there? Yeah. I think. Alright, we got some saplings dropping. How did you get up there? Get down from there. You're not a bird. You're a wolf. How did you even climb the tree? You got no one to blame but yourself. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll get down sooner or later. Probably sooner, rather than later. What is with the tree-bound wolves? Alright. Chew on some of these apples. We got the sun coming up. We'll toss a couple of pieces of wood in there to stoke the fires. And I think for right now, until I have a chance to actually start my proper construction, I'm going to build a crappy little house over here. I have an idea in mind for the actual structure of my house, but for right now I'm just going to make it 3x3, 3 blocks high. Made totally out of spruce wood. And here we'll have our door. Parkour up here. There we go. We'll just do that. And we'll switch charcoal over. Need to make a door, an actual honest-to-goodness door. Take one piece of wood out of here. Use the other 5 from there. There we go, wooden door. Put that away. And home sweet home, at least for now. Alright guys, I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to finish cooking up some charcoal. I'm going to make myself a couple of stone picks. I'm going to find myself a good place to start a mine. And I'm going to... Ooh, purple autumn sapling, that's cool. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. Do a little bit of mining. If I come across anything interesting, I will be sure to pop back on video and show you guys. So, yeah, I'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, I'm back for a few seconds here. I did find a couple of things to note down here in the dungeon that I wanted to show to you. I was starting up a branch mine when I came across a natural cave, so I figured I'd explore it. And I came across this. This is a Thaumcraft infused stone. Now, one thing I want to point out is if we knock out the lights here, look how brightly that glows. It's a really cool effect, and it makes it really easy to pick out in dark caves. So, it's pretty easy to find the stuff. It's relatively rare, but when you find it, it's pretty easy to track down. The other thing that I found is my first diamonds, which I found right over here next to the lava lake. And, of course, I broke my pickaxe. That's awesome. Okay, well, I guess I will run back here to my base. I'm going to make myself another iron pickaxe. And I'm going to complete this mining trip, and then when I get this mining trip done, I will come back, I will show you guys the loot that I came across, and I will explain a couple of things about the world that we're living in. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, broke another iron pick here, so I came back. I think I'm done mining for now. I'll do some more mining off camera. Probably going to live stream for a little bit tonight, so I'm sure I'll do some more mining then. But I wanted to show you guys something in this mod. There's actually 2 things that I want to point out in this mod right away. We'll get to a third in the near future here. The first one is the sheer number of ores that this mod puts into the world. You have your standard iron and your standard gold. This one also adds 3 different types of tin, 3 different types of copper, one of them I haven't even found yet, 2 different types of silver, lead, bauxite, cinnabar, and there's a whole bunch more that I haven't even found yet that are added by GregTech that are a little bit more uncommon. Some might even call them rare. So yeah, there's a lot of different ores added into this mod. They are configurable by the config files as to whether or not you want them in the world. I always prefer having more ore in my worlds because it's a little bit easier to do large, complex builds. You don't have to worry about resources so much. It'll ramp up the difficulty if you only have one type of tin and one type of copper, and I spend enough time mining already off camera that I don't want to increase that anymore. The second thing that I will show you is a GregTech tweak. You can see I have some copper and some tin in here, and I am running forestry. So if I take some copper, throw it in there, and some tin and throw it in there, I get nothing. That's right. The forestry bronze recipe is disabled by GregTech by default. Again, that's something that you can turn off if you would rather not make it too hard on yourself, but by default it is enabled. So if you don't want it to be that hard, change it. I'm going to leave this stuff down here for right now, and I'm going to head back to the surface. It looks like my timing is impeccable because it looks like it's just about to be night. And you can see there's a piece of amber that got stuck in here that I can't even do anything with at the moment because it requires an iron pickaxe and I broke mine. And oh yeah, it's nighttime. What a wonderful time to be coming out of a dark hole in the ground. At least it's early night. Doesn't look like anything's had a chance to spawn yet. So, our inventory is crammed full, as usual. Let's throw our gravel in here, as soon as I find gravel. There it is. Pull a couple more pieces of spruce out. Make ourselves a second chest. So we can drop that down and store the rest of our crap. Now, I have plans for those diamonds. The plans that I have for the diamonds, though, might surprise some of you. Anyone who's watched my series knows that one of the first tools that I usually build, and if I can do it, I do it like even right at the very beginning. Well, I'm about to start starving, aren't I? Like, I like to do this right at the beginning. I prefer not to use any sort of diamonds on pickaxes at all in the early game because, well, pickaxes break. There's a tool that's added by Industrial Craft called the mining drill that doesn't break. It's an awesome tool. Let's see how it's made. It is made using, oh wait, what's this? Damn you, GregTech. Yeah, that's right. GregTech makes the mining drill more expensive. It requires steel. And it makes the diamond drill require titanium. These, unfortunately, are now luxury tools. It also means that the first 3 diamonds, instead of going into anything else, are going to go into the diamond pickaxe. It sucks, but it kind of has to be done. Otherwise, I'm just going to burn up a whole ton of iron trying to get everything that I need. Alright, one change that I'm going to make right now, I am going to go into Raise Minimap. First of all, I'm going to enable death points, just in case. I'm also going to enable Show Slime Chunks. That's going to allow me to pinpoint where slime chunks are on this map. And I see that there is a good area for slime somewhere nearby. So one thing I'm going to be doing off camera is I'm going to be digging a slime spawning room. Because there are 2 ways to get steel in GregTech. The first one involves an industrial blast furnace, which takes 2 induction furnaces, an advanced machine block, a couple of components, and these copper and nickel heating coils, which takes nickel, which you can only get through either... how do you get the nickel dust? You can get it through centrifuging platinum, which you get through some rare obscene ore, Or you can get it through grinding sheldonite, which is the rare obscene ore I was talking about. Or, yeah, you get the idea. Or you can get it through these tiny piles of nickel dust, which you can get through centrifuging copper. Or iron. Or other stuff like that. Anyway, the point that I'm getting at is that the industrial blast furnace is a pain in the ass. It's also a multi-block structure which requires you to build a whole bunch of other stuff. We'll get to that in the series eventually, but I don't want to have to deal with that kind of crap early on. However, thanks to our friend the Ore Dictionary, there's another option. The Railcraft blast furnace produces steel that works the same way as the steel out of the industrial blast furnace from GregTech. This is going to be our saving grace. However, it requires magma cream, which basically requires slime. So we need slime spawning. Long, drawn-out way to explain, basically, we need slimes. We're also going to need a couple of other things. Now, there's no avoiding it. You're going to have to cook up some iron. Let's go ahead and get some iron cooking here. And following the you can never have too many resources in the early game, we're going to come out here and we're going to burn up the rest of our iron axe. This is kind of dangerous doing it in the dark, but we got nothing better to do while we wait for that iron to cook up. Alright, I am still going to make an early game industrial craft tool. Industrial craft with the addition of GregTech is definitely more of a mid to late game mod. It's not an early game mod anymore. It's not as crucial to have industrial craft stuff up and going quickly. You have bigger priorities with GregTech installed. One thing I am going to make though, is I am going to make myself an iron furnace. I'm actually probably going to make a couple of them. Why am I making the iron furnace? Because it is a more efficient use of your fuel in the early game. We'll wait for this to cook up. It's more efficient use of fuel and of time. We're going to go ahead and pull our other 5 iron out of here, and we're going to upgrade this one as well. There we go. 2 iron furnaces, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get some of our gold cooking up. And some more iron. There is a tool that I want to build today on camera. I'm hoping I'll have time to do it. I need a source of sand, because I'm going to need some glass in order to build this thing. Just so happens that there is some sand out here on a beach next to these. There we are. Go ahead and dig some of the sand out. Alright, 38, 40, that's good for now. We'll head back home with our sand. Maybe. We can navigate the pool. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get that sand cooking up. We're also going to get some copper cooking up. Now it doesn't matter what type of copper, Ore Dictionary is still in play. So I'm going to use the type that I have the most of. Alright, we are going to start with a mod that has shifted a little bit more into the early game. It replaces a lot of some of the early game functionality from Industrial Craft that Greg Tech moves into the later game. It is a little more costly to operate these things, and they're a little bit slower in the early game, but they're a good use of your early resources if you're running this particular mod. I am referring, of course, to Thermal Expansion. Thermal Expansion adds a device called a pulverizer, which you can see is made using a couple of basic things. There are some unfamiliar things here, but we'll explain those in a minute. The first thing we're going to need is a good old-fashioned piston. So we're going to need some redstone, we're going to need some of this, and we're going to make ourselves a good old-fashioned piston. It's going to require 2 pieces of flint. It's going to require a couple pieces of copper, which we already have cooked up. We're cooking up a little more anyway, but it's also going to require some glass, and it's going to require some gold. If you take some gold, put it in the middle, with iron on the outside, and glass there, you're going to get what's called a machine frame. Machine frames are the basis for most of the thermal expansion toys. Kind of like the sturdy casing is the basis of forestry machines, and the machine block is the basis of industrial craft machines. The machine frame is the basis of thermal expansion stuff. We're also going to need a piece of gold in the middle with some redstone on the side. That's going to get us a redstone reception coil. If we put the redstone reception coil on the bottom, the machine frame there, the piston on the top, the flint on the sides, and the copper on the bottom, that's going to get us the pulverizer, which for right now we're just going to set up here. Now, you can see the GUI on this thing is really weird. It's got a blue slot, a red slot, and a yellow slot. Keep that in mind, because those are actually important. Because if you look on here, you can see there's a blue slot, a yellow slot, and a red slot. This thing actually does respect Buildcraft transport. It also respects putting chests in place. So, if you need to send something into this machine, you send it onto any face with a blue slot. If you need to get something out of the machine, the primary output is the red slot, which you can see is on this side. There's a secondary output, which is the gold slot, which is on top. The front doesn't do anything, but you can see here you can also configure this. So right now, the left-hand side is blue, the right-hand side is red, the top and bottom are yellow, and the back is blue. If we want, we can change that. We can have the back be another red output, and if we look, it's changed to red. We can also disable an output entirely. We can set a combined output with this machine. If we set a face to yellow to orange, then orange, which is a combination of red and yellow, is going to be the output for all things. But for right now, we're just going to leave that as the default. These machines are run by Buildcraft power. So we're going to need to make ourselves a basic engine. For right now, we're just going to fall back to the traditional steam engine, or Stirling engine as it's called these days. So, a little bit of that, put this here. It's going to give us our Stirling engine. We're going to get a lever. We're going to put all of our stuff there, and we're just going to attach this to the back of the machine with our cobblestone there, our lever up there to turn it on, and we're going to start pulverizing the rest of our iron. We put the iron in the pulverizer. It's not going to do anything right away. Got to supply it power. So we'll give this Stirling engine a bit of coal to work with. Charcoal, actually. You're going to see it's got a little bar on the side here, kind of like railcraft machines do. Now, it's not doing anything right now, because it needs to build up an internal charge. This machine's capable of storing a lot of power, up to 4,800 Minecraft joules of power. It's capable of drawing up to 4, but it's not going to do anything until it has a little bit of buffer built up. Now right now it's only going to use 1, it's going to operate fairly slowly. The more power you have in your internal buffer here, the more power it's going to use, up to a maximum of 4 Minecraft joules per tick, which will make this thing run about 4 times faster. So you can see we got some pulverized iron. This acts almost exactly like iron dust from Industrial Craft. As a matter of fact, pretty much all of the dusts work through the ore compatibility. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make ourselves a chest, and we're going to put it on the red side of this device, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to pump all that pulverized iron in there for us. Pretty cool. We're going to let the Stirling engine run here. We're going to let it pulverize the rest of our iron. And we're going to come over here and we're going to make ourselves another machine. First of all though, we're going to get the pulverized iron cooking up. Works exactly as you would expect. I'm actually kind of waiting. Oops. Let's go ahead and grab this. I don't want to waste a piece of charcoal. Being wasteful, especially in the early game, is something that drives me nuts. A little bit later on, when you've got resources to spare, yeah, you can afford to be a little wasteful. In the early game, it drives me berserk. I hate wasting charcoal. Alright, so we are going to build another machine. This one, do we actually want to build another machine just like this? Do we want to build another pulverizer? Or do we want to build the companion machine to go with the pulverizer? I think I want to build the companion machine. So, that's going to start out in a roughly similar way. It's going to start out with the machine frame. It's going to start out with the redstone reception coil. We're going to need a bit more iron. We're going to make ourselves a powered furnace, which is bricks, copper, redstone, and the machine frame. This, however, means we need to find some clay. Let's go ahead and toss this stuff away, and there should be some clay right over here. I heard a cow over there. I imagine there should be a little bit of clay over here next to the desert zone. I think I remember seeing some earlier. Yeah, right here. Actually, a relatively large amount of clay, too. Gather this up. And, oh, current. Ah, broke my shovel. That's okay. I got all the clay. Let me out. There we go. Alright, let's head back home. Lots of wolves. Alright, and we're home. Let's go ahead and cook up 10 pieces of clay. Shouldn't need any more than that for the early amount. And you can see our pulverizer over here has built a large power reserve. off of the Stirling engine that's running on it. Let's put that to use on some of our gold. Now I put that in, you're going to see it's quickly going to start working on the gold because it had enough power that it was capable of using 4 Minecraft joules a tick without worrying about it. Let's go ahead and put that back on there. It's going to drain the internal reserve pretty quickly, so the power usage is going to quickly drop. Let's see here. What do we need? We need some redstone, we need a couple pieces of copper. Now we're just waiting on the bricks. And we're going to start building up our energy reserve again. Now we got enough bricks to work with. Gets us our 2 bricks. We put the bricks on both sides, some redstone on the top, machine frame there, redstone reception coil there, copper there gives us our powered furnace. One more thing that I want to build is just some basic cobblestone pipes. Just like that. And I actually want to get some torches too, just to light up the area I'm working in. Otherwise it's going to get really dark. There we go. That gives us enough light to work by. We're going to break off this chest. And we're going to pop down our powered furnace right here. You can see it's going to have a GUI relatively similar. Blue inputs on the back and the sides, a yellow output on the side here, or an orange output rather. If we take and we connect a cobblestone pipe there, and we pump something, say, let's say some silver, into the pulverizer, once it gets done, it's going to automatically eject the result into this pipe, and it's going to load it into the furnace here. Now the furnace requires Minecraft power, or Buildcraft power in order to work also. So let's go ahead and make it another Stirling engine. Redstone. And cobble. And glass. At least everything's there. Alright, so we're going to make ourselves a piston. We're going to make ourselves 2 gears. Upgrade those stone gears. And that's going to give us our second Stirling engine. Get another stick here. Make ourselves a few levers. Grab some charcoal. And we're going to come over here. We're going to put the Stirling engine right behind this furnace. We're going to put cobblestone there. Lever on that. We're going to power him too. Need a little more power. Now, I haven't done any studies to see exactly how efficient this is running off of coal. Like, I don't know if this is more or less efficient than a powered furnace or an iron furnace, but the integration here is really cool, so I kind of like using this even if it's less efficient. Again, you can put a furnace down on the output side and it will automatically eject any completed items into that inventory, or it should. Oh, it did. It just had to think about it for a second. Probably just hadn't updated. Alright, we'll throw that in there. And that's going to build up power reserve just like this does. We're actually wasting power at the moment. So let's go ahead and get it cooking up on our tin for now. Now, one reason to use the pulverizer over using a macerator. The macerator still works. It still does exactly what you expect the macerator to do. However, the pulverizer has two advantages. The first one being that it's cheaper. The macerator from Greg Tech uses 3 diamonds in order to craft it. That's a lot of diamonds, especially for the early game. Whereas the pulverizer only uses a little bit of gold. Another advantage is if you look at the recipe for tin here. Let's go find our tin recipe on here. Here's a recipe for tin. You can see that when you pulverize tin, you will get 2 pulverized tin, which acts basically as the same way that the tin dust does from industrial crafts. But you're also going to have a 5% chance of getting some pulverized iron. So you'll get some excess materials out of it as well. With silver, you have a chance of getting some lead. With lead, you have a chance of getting a little silver. With sulfur, you have a chance of getting that type of sulfur instead. With saltpeter, you have a chance of getting some niter, which I have no idea what niter is used for. It's not the same thing from industrial or from Thaumcraft. Sand, you can get some niter out of that too. You can pulverize obsidian. That's going to come into play relatively soon. Definitely not this episode. You can pulverize netherrack and you get cobblestone out of it, with a chance of some sulfur. If you pulverize a diamond, well, you just get a diamond, so there's no point in doing that really. Same with emeralds. Pulverize some lapis ore, you get 8 lapis out of it. Now, a fortune pick's still going to give you an overall better yield, but this is a better yield than picking it out with a regular pickaxe. Pulverize oak wood, you're going to get wood chips. And just a whole bunch of different stuff like that. Increased output for sugar. Increased output for bones, blaze powder, you get the point. Anyway, I feel like this is a pretty good wrapping up point for episode 1, so I'm going to call it here, do a little bit more work off camera, get all of my materials processed, and be back sometime in the near future with episode 2. Probably going to live stream at some point tonight, so if you guys want to join me and check out some stuff there, I'll see you then. But until then, hope you guys are enjoying the new series so far. I'll catch you later.